Welcome back to the Everyday Athlete Podcast, guys. We have a little bit of a unique episode today where we are, for the first time, shooting in Relentless Collective, so in the gym instead of the studio. And I'm really excited about today's episode because I've got Jackson Hayes, owner and operator of Relentless Collective, on the podcast again. We sat down together in April of 2025, so we're just coming up on 365 days, 1 year officially being open. And it's just been so cool to see this process unfold since Jackson and I go way back to 2020, working together, kind of setting this vision initially, and then Jackson pushing it through, really pushing through no's, pushing through adversity, and seeing, the facility come to fruition. And it's been cool being along this process with him and supporting him along that process. And, we're just really excited for what's to come moving forward. And we're really just getting started here at Relentless Collective. So Jackson, welcome back to the show.
Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. So, dude, especially with us coming up on, 1 year, gym officially being open, what do you feel like, how does it feel? What are some of the emotions kind of going through you right now as you approach this 1 year? I know that, us kind of over that 2020 to 2026 timeframe, like just a long trajectory of a lot of delayed gratification for you, looking at facilities, finding land. We were just talking about that before the episode, to finally being operational, up and running. We've got, you're hiring trainers, like we're building out classes. We got a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, man, kind of from your standpoint, how does it all feel?
I feel like it's just happened so quickly. Like you think that it's a long time, and then you look back and it's like, man, that time flew by like super fast. And it's hard when you're going through everything and your days are super long and you're training, you're trying to run operations, you're trying to do everything to like sit there and really be like grateful. But I've tried to, as the 1 year's, coming up in July, that like to try and really sit there and like be grateful for what has happened and what has come to fruition, and kind of pause and take a time to be grateful for this.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. And it's funny that you say that because I didn't even tell you this, but like in real time, I feel like I'm constantly battling that, where it's like you're just dealing with everything, like the wins, the losses, the coming and going, the people joining up, and then like sometimes people canceling or people leaving, and like you just have to take those punches and roll with those punches. And it's something that I'm constantly thinking about, bro, like for real, where it's very easy to only focus on those like losses and like the bad, or like the fires that you got to put out as a gym owner. But then it's like taking time to truly reflect on like, damn, this was the dream, this was the goal all along.
Right.
And it's almost like it's hard to enjoy it at times, which I'm sure it is.
You're bouncing around, you're managing people, there's things that go wrong, a sauna stops working, or the cold plunge stops working, your client doesn't show up, you're late, you forgot to pay a bill. Like there's a million different things. Somebody cancels their membership. There's so many different things that are going on throughout a day, that it's hard to just sometimes like sit there and be like, all right, well, this is what I asked for.
Yeah.
I always go back to the saying that people say, where it's like, don't ask for a full plate and then complain about it.
Yep. I've had to remind myself of that, dude.
So when the goal was to eat, right?
Yeah.
So
like we wanted that.
Yeah, right, exactly. So got to kind of keep that in mind and in perspective as you're going through everything as a new business owner. So
for sure, bro. I feel like this morning was like a good kind of grateful moment. You know what I mean? Like definitely. We're in there like having fun. You've got your NFL guys in there. I had Maxon, a potential new NFL guy, in there with us, and like Caroline, one of our new performance coaches, was in there, and we're all kind of just bantering, getting after it, and like pushing the guys. So I feel like that was kind of a moment, at least for me. Yeah. And I don't know if for you.
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of funny that was literally this morning.
Yeah.
But it really did kind of feel, at least for me in that moment, really, really special. And it was kind of like, well, this is, what we've really been working for.
Yeah, this is what we asked for.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely, man.
Definitely.
Well, dude, maybe give me a recap, as far as what are some of the lessons that you've learned, dude? You said there's been some hardships, there's been some ups and downs, there's been some positives, some negatives. But what do you feel like are some of the biggest lessons you've learned, over this last year throughout this process?
I think we kind of had just touched on this before the camera started rolling too. Like, we're both kind of like that, like wired that we want to be like perfectionists and everything has to be perfect. And it's like, if one little thing goes wrong, like it kind of like flips
pisses
a switch.
You off.
Yeah. And it's like, I've learned that I've just had to like really like roll with the punches. Things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen. And you just kind of have to like, let it go. Okay. Fix it. Here's what the problem is. Here's what the solution is. like, or if you don't know what the solution is, figure it out, and then, you know, you can only handle one thing at a time.
Yes.
And just kind of work that way. That's definitely one that I've had to like really focus on. Because it would be at first a member quit, and you're like, all right, well, we have 500 other members, like it's okay, like it's gonna happen, you know,
but it doesn't hurt any less, or it's not any less hard.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
So it's like, you know, every time like I would hear the ding on my phone that an email would come in, I'd be like, is that somebody canceling? And then it would be whatever, like, and they're like, I just moved out of the country or something, and
it's like something that has nothing to do with you.
It's like, but still you're like, every single time. Every single time. I think too, one of the other things that I'm sure you even talked about with Pat on the podcast with him was just like being like super hospitable to everyone. That's something that I've really had to learn to do, because I'm just like so
a fucking killer.
Like I'm so laser focused on like
anybody watching who knows Jackson knows what we're talking about.
So just like locked in on one thing at a time, and it's like, all right, if I'm training, I'm training. If I'm doing something, and I've kind of had to like put on the happy face and like, you know, talk to everyone and get to know everyone. And I feel like too, that's what's kind of helped build the community that we have. And it's like, it's got to come from me at the top, and then trickle down through the trainers and through the front desk and through everybody else, that, you know, if we take care of our people, you know, they're going to stay and come back. And that's kind of how we've built retention and built the community that we have. Trying to think of another one. I would say that just, man, the biggest thing that I've had to learn, and it kind of goes off of that, is just dealing with people. I've never had to manage people before. You know, the front desk workers, other trainers, you know, I've always just been training myself, and I would deal with me and deal with my clients, and that's all I had to worry about. And now there's all these other things. So dealing with people and learning how different people are and how different people operate, and not everyone is like me. And so getting...
It's one of the hardest things, bro.
I'm
so glad we're talking about this, because this is real. This is relevant to like shit that I'm experiencing now and that I've experienced.
It's just like, you want to just like shake them and be like, why aren't you doing this? And it's like, you know, they aren't wired that way.
The same way, right?
Yeah, or they think of things differently, or whatever it is, and learning to try and communicate and get points across different ways to different people that you're leading. And then also just like on the customer base side, you know, everyone has their own lives and different things that they're doing, and how can we, and everybody has their own preferences. That's the hard thing, never really realized how picky people are. Until now.
And you need to like streamline things where it's like, hey, we're doing this way. But then like also make everybody happy at the same time.
It's like,
I'm glad we're talking about this.
I've always been like a people pleaser, and I want everyone to be happy, and everybody love the facility, and everybody and it's like, it could be the music. You have somebody come up and they're like, hey, I don't really like this rap music. And
can you
like,
not play what's cussing? Like, can you turn the cussing off?
And then you're like, oh crap, I'll go change it. And then you change it to EDM music, and somebody's like,
I fucking hate EDM.
I don't really like EDM. Can you turn on like classic rock? And you're like bouncing back and forth, and you're like, okay, we're just gonna put like a playlist on that has a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything,
and like, and then same thing with like equipment. Some people are super picky about the way that things feel, like especially like I've never really been a part of like the bodybuilding community. I've always been sports performance, and there's all these different things that I'm learning about that people need to have for bodybuilding, and our posing rooms, and the way different equipment functions. And like one example that I can think of right off the top of our head is we're looking at getting new equipment for the gym, just like coming up on the 1 year, like ways to thank our members. And we were asking members like, hey, what do you guys want to see at the gym? And I'm thinking like, there's going to be some cool like multifunctional piece of equipment that people are going to want. And it's literally like, people want a lateral raise machine. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, you can do cable lateral raises, you can do dumbbell lateral raises, you could do banded lateral raises. Like there's so many different ways and variations that you could do lateral raises, but it literally had the most like votes out of anything.
And you would have never known too.
And I would have never known. So we're getting a lateral raise machine. So
there you go.
But yeah, just things like that. You know, learning different things every day about people and what they need and what they like and what they want in a facility, because that's super important as we continue to grow. But then also at the same time being able to differentiate like, okay, this is really important, and this is somebody that just, you know, wants to complain or you know, ask for something else.
Knowing what to take into account. And bro, I love that you're talking about that, because it's actually something like I've noticed even in myself as I have grown clientele, or like you're just working with more people, you're managing more people, like, dude, it's so easy to take shit personally. Like, and that's something that is probably, dude, as a business owner, like one of the hardest things that I've had to overcome, where to your point, you know, somebody cancels or somebody's dealing with an issue or something came up, and it's so easy to like internalize that and be like, shit, what could I have done? We're perfectionists. You know, I could have done something different. Maybe I could have changed the situation, but it's really learning how to almost like detach from that. And I think it's good we're talking about this, because it doesn't matter if you're a gym owner, you know, if we're running a business, you could be running any business, you could be managing any organization of people, and these things are going to be relevant. You know what I mean? Definitely. And you're going to have to learn how to manage those different personalities, manage those different preferences, please everybody to a degree, you know, but also streamline some things. So I think that's just a very relevant topic. And what do you feel like has helped you overcome that? Or do you feel like, have you really just worked at focusing on like what you can control?
Yeah,
mostly?
Just focusing on what I can control. I think too, like a big thing that I've had to do is like I've always just done everything myself.
Correct. And so now you're delegating. Yeah.
Delegating. Yeah. So we like hired at first, like when we first opened the facility and we were like, you know, 50 members on opening day or whatever we were from pre-sale, like I was doing the laundry, I was folding the towels, I was signing up people for members, I was also training all my clients, I was stocking the toilet paper, I was clean. Like there were so many different things that I was doing, and it just got to the point where I was just so overwhelmed that we had to delegate some of that. So we brought on front desk staff, and now like I've been so used to like, this is my training and the way I do things and the way, you know, how I need it to be done. And so now we're starting to bring on more trainers and get more input from them, and like see, you know, hopefully our sports performance side start to grow because of that. I'm letting go a little bit. We started to give some of our youth and middle school classes over to some of our new trainers, and letting them kind of, you know, build their own thing as well.
Dude, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think managing all of that, what does like a typical day look like for you?
Man, we'll go like right now, because it's NFL off season, it's really crazy. So I would say wake up at 5 every day, usually in the gym by 6. Some days I have NFL client at 6. Some days I have,
sometimes you're in here at like 5:30.
Yeah, have an NFL client at 6, or have our adult groups at 6 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then on the days that I have the adult group at 6, I have an adult group at 7. And then I'm training back to back to back until at least 8:30 a.m. And then on certain days I go to Dublin Jerome and I do their football strength and conditioning from 9 to 11, 3 days a week.
With how many kids?
80 plus kids, varsity and freshmen. I bring one of our assistant coaches over to help me with the freshmen. They just got a brand new weight room, so things are rocking and rolling there. I'm excited to see how things go there. So then we're 9 to 11 there. When I come back, we have our second group of pro guys. Caroline, one of our trainers, gets them started, and then I roll in like right at 11:15, and get them, after she gets them warmed up, they're dynamic, they're prep, and then I go into their speed work and lifting. Usually don't get done till around 1. Then we have our 1 o'clock high school group. I teach that 2 days a week, and Caroline teaches it 2 days a week. And then I usually have a client from between 2 and 4. If I have a gap there, that's when I usually go and do our administrative work. So I'm answering emails, I'm reaching out to new leads, I'm paying bills, I'm doing payroll, I'm managing schedules,
fixing shit, putting out fires,
that type of stuff. Yeah, like anything that's wrong. If we have equipment that, you know, is missing a bolt, or like people find things, you know, I do all that type of stuff. I have the cell phone, the gym phone on me all the time. So like I'm answering calls if I need to. I'll answer emails and text messages. People will be like, hey, I need this done to my account or whatever, and I'll need to do that during that free time. Then we have an adult, or a high school group at 4 p.m. I usually teach that high school group from 4 to 5. And then a couple days a week, I'm here till 7:30. And so I train from that 5 o'clock to 7:30. And then a couple days a week, I have my son, and so I'm done at 6. And then I get my son and I go home. So usually a 12 to 14 hour day,
pretty consistently,
if not longer, pretty consistently. And then we're always, you know, doing stuff. Morgan, longtime girlfriend, is behind the scenes as well, doing a lot at home. And she, you know, does kind of a lot of the administrative work. She puts together a lot of our events, and that type of stuff too. So we do have
shout out Morgan.
Yeah, shout out Morgan. We do have a lot of people that are in our support system that help us out. But yes, it is a long day.
It is a long day,
most
bro.
days of the week.
And you practice what you preach. You're still in here training. Like, what's fun is like sometimes, and I think this will just be cool for people to hear, like it'll be a random ass time during the day where like we have like a free hour, we're getting our workout in, and we're like working out at the same time, kind of talking and stuff. So like you're still working out on top of that. You have a son.
I did forget in there. Usually in that gap where I'm doing administrative work, I'll try and work in like an hour workout in the mid-afternoon. So
it's good, man. Yeah, and literally still training clients.
Yeah.
And owning and operating the gym at full. So, dude, you got a lot on your plate, and just being able to witness it, bro. Like, you manage it well. Like, I don't think like a lot of people can, or there's not a lot of people in your life maybe telling you that directly, but it is cool to witness, like, kind of as like semi right hand man or very involved with you in this process. It's cool to see you manage it so well, because dude, it's fucking hard. Like, it's not for the faint of heart. And I've told you that a lot of times, where like just wearing all those hats, like I wear a lot of those hats too, but it's a little bit different being the owner of a facility. And dude, it's hard. Like you're just doing so much, and it's hard to manage and balance. How do you manage and balance it? Like, I think this would be good for people to hear, where like, I know that some days are a little bit chaotic, but then other days, you've got your plan a little bit more organized and stuff. So when you are that busy, when you have that much on your plate and like that many demands, how do you manage it?
I think it's just taking one thing at a time. Because if you're trying to do it all at once,
you get overwhelmed.
So it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing at this time. This is what I'm doing at this time. This is what I'm doing. Having like some sort of a schedule. Compartmentalizing it. I am also pretty good at multitasking. I do sometimes, have to answer quick emails or text messages in between clients, or like somebody's taking a rest or they're going to grab a drink, and you got to I got to answer this email real quick, got to send this text message real quick. There's a worker coming to work on something, I got to go let them in the door. I do, shout out to Apple, do have my Apple Watch on me all the time, so I do get quite a few
the notifications.
Just get like text messages or whatever, and be like, somebody from the building ownership, hey, we're coming to check on the garage door that's broken, or like, there's this coming today or this, and it's just like, okay, I got to go do this. I'll run up to the front desk. I can just pop my head out and be like, hey, there's a delivery coming at this time. Make sure you're paying attention. Like those type of things, multitasking, but trying to just take it one thing at a time, and realizing that like, hey, if something doesn't get done, like it's okay.
It's okay.
I think too, like, and I do, I need to be better probably about putting my phone away sometimes, but I feel like too, I have started to realize that like not everything needs attention like right away. Yeah. Like I used to be that person that like I can't have a single unread text message in my phone. Like it made me mad. I would look at some of like my NFL clients, for example, their phone, they have 3,000 unread text messages, and I'm like, dude, how do you do that?
Managing
and
it?
Now like I'm looking at mine and I have like 20, and I'm like, man, I really want to get rid of those. But like
that was me last night, literally.
So like I feel like I've realized that like I don't have, like people can wait 24 hours for me to respond to an email. If I don't send this text message right away, like it's okay. Now there are things that need my attention right away, and I have to prioritize those. Like, okay, this needs my attention, right this second.
These other things
can wait. I'll leave them as unread text messages or unread emails, so that way when I do have a second, go back and take the time to get back to them. But I have realized that as I get busier, like, not everything you have to prioritize really well.
That's it, bro. Like I'm living that to a T. I think I literally told you before this podcast, I was like, bro, we had Maxon come in this morning from the Seattle Seahawks. I knew we had this at 2 p.m. This is like a typical online day for me, so it's like my heavy check-ins and calls. Luckily, I was able to move some calls, so I had some more freedom throughout the day. But I was even feeling a little bit of that like overwhelm. I was telling you that. I'm like, dude, last night I was like thinking about all these different things, planning everything, like putting the final touches on this, putting the final touches on Maxon's program and the regressions that we had as a backup plan and things like that. So I was just like really focused on those inputs or those to-dos. And, if you focus on it all at once, if I think about all those things at once, like I feel really overwhelmed. But when it's like, just think about them in bits and in pieces. And I almost like to think of the day in like 3 quarters or 4 quarters where you're kind of compartmentalizing it. And it's like, bro, I just got to focus on that first thing. So it's like, I got to win that session in the morning, do really good there. Cool. Then when I'm done with that, I'll think about the podcast. But I'm not even going to allow myself to think about that, especially in the morning of those events and even the day before, but really trying to just remind yourself, like, focus on the first thing that's that day. Get that, like, own that, get it done, and then you can focus on that next thing, and then keep that process going. And I think that's the only way to do it, bro. Especially as the busier and busier and busier you get, and the more like organized you have to get.
Yeah, and I do struggle with that sometimes, like making sure that like I'm present in what I'm doing, because there are so many other things going on. Like when I'm training somebody, you know, I might get a text message that like might trigger something in my head that like, crap, I really need to do that, or I forgot to text this person back, or I need to send this email. And sometimes I'll like go and do it real quick, when in reality I need to just like, okay, it can wait.
Yeah.
And so, you know, making sure that you're like present in what you're doing at the time,
yes,
is definitely like something that I struggle with, but you know,
crucial.
need to work on. Yeah.
Yeah. And dude, it goes hand in hand with the compartmentalization, where it's almost like giving yourself permission, where it's like, just focus on this.
Yeah.
Win this, own this opportunity, check, on to the next. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is literally like the only way to do it, at least in my opinion. So bro, I feel like, you know, what we're doing here, and we've had some of these experiences recently where we've had, you know, clients referring people, we've had, you know, new athletes coming through the doors, and it's very clear that people are picking up on what we're doing different. And we both take a lot of pride in that. Obviously, we built this, we did this thing. I take a lot of pride on the adult side. You take a lot of pride on the sports performance side, and managing that and doing the programming. So, dude, we very much so had a clear intent to do things differently.
Yeah.
And I would love for you to kind of talk about, in your own words, you know, how is our sports performance training different? How is our athlete focused training different from maybe, you know, what else is out there, or what other options people have?
Yeah. I mean, I would say the way I describe like our sports performance training is we're the gap fillers. So there's a lot of high schools now, it didn't used to be this way, but a lot of high schools now have pretty good strength and conditioning programs, but they can only do so much. And I'm figuring that out now, you know, now that I'm taking over a high school strength and conditioning program. You can only do so much in that hour and a half, 2 hour block that you have your athletes, especially when you're working with like a football team and there's 80 kids. You can only get so much done in that hour. You may get 1 or 2 core lifts with some light accessories, and then you hit like some hypertrophy work at the end, and then you do some sort of like, you know, finisher or whatever for you know, toughness or whatever you want to call it, you know, team building. But those are the only things so you're really lacking in speed and power and injury prevention, and being able to really give the attention to detail that each athlete needs. And so I think that's where our training comes in on top of what you're doing at school, is we fill in all those gaps. At school, most likely you're squatting, you're benching, you're deadlifting, your core lifts, you're doing some sort of, you know, maybe clean variation or whatever, and then you're hitting like your hypertrophy. So what we really focus on during our sessions is speed, power, change of direction, and then injury prevention. Everything that we do, we have dynamic warm up. We have our speed for the day. We'll have some sort of focus for the day, whether it's linear speed, change of direction.
Like today we did change of direction.
Yeah, change of direction, or, you know, acceleration. And then on top of that, you have a lift, but that lift isn't like, you know, a heavy set of 5 or 3. It's all power and explosive focus, because we feel like that's kind of what's lacking, you know, in the, you know, strength and conditioning for high schoolers. With our middle school and youth program, it's more of an overall development program, because most of them don't have anything at all.
Right.
So they're not lifting. We're just working on more body mechanics, movement, learning to move your body, how to move your body efficiently, running mechanics, that type of stuff with our younger athletes.
Dude, I love that, because isn't it ironic that like directly mimics literally what we're doing with the adult side too, with filling the gaps, being well-rounded. You know, most workout formats, it's a big cardio workout, or, you know, it's just strength, or it's just muscle or bodybuilding focused. So we're really marrying all of those principles and bringing that well-rounded approach to people, integrating mobility, soft tissue work, things that most adults never do or never even get in a lot of these typical workout formats. So we're truly filling that gap, man. Yeah. And we're making sure that not only are we, you know, doing what people want, but we're also layering in what they need to keep their body strong and healthy for life, dude. Yeah. And it starts here with what we're doing with them. So I think that's really cool, man, because it does parallel what we're doing sports performance wise. Yeah. We're filling the gaps. We're training well-rounded. We're doing everything that they need to look, move, and perform their best. Same thing with our adult performance training, even if it looks a little bit different. Maybe walk me through, because I thought this would be cool. And I've actually never really done this on the podcast. It'd be a really cool opportunity to do this. And I could even walk through like Maxons, but like maybe walk through what you literally did this morning with Cade and Zach Harrison.
Yeah. So with the pro guys, it's a little bit different because I am their strength and conditioning program. So like with our high school athletes, they do their stuff at school and then they come see me, you know, on top of what they're doing at school. With the pro guys, like we do everything. Yeah. You know, we are the strength and conditioning program for them. So started off with a dynamic warm up and some speed prep, got their central nervous system ramped up with some like 6-inch box jump series to prep them for change of direction. So change of direction day today. Then we did some like skater hops to a sprint with a med ball, just loading the skater hops, sticking each rep and then exploding out into a sprint. And then we also added in a deceleration portion to that because just with the guys that we were working with, for example, Zach, he's all gas, no brakes. The dude is so fast, but he's such a big, long athlete. He has a hard time like slowing down and it's hard on his joints and stuff like that. So we added in a deceleration portion just to like really focus on that with him, especially for our change of direction day. So it was, you know, the med ball skater hops, drop the ball, and then you're into a 10-yard sprint, break it down, stop on a dime at 10 yards, walk it back. So we did a couple different series with the med ball, and then we did some vector jumps. So we did some.
And what's the vector?
So basically, it's a double broad jump, but you're hitting different angles. Yeah. So you're broad jumping, and then you might go out at a 120-degree angle, a 90-degree angle, or a 45-degree back angle, and it's just working on setting your shins to get used to producing force in different directions.
Love that.
And then we did, to finish it off, we did like a little, it's like conditioning, but also cognitive focus because it's reactive, a little box drill. Each cone has a number, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're sitting in the middle. If I yell cone 1, you got to go up, get low, touch cone 1, and get back to the middle as quick as you can. And then we'll go out of order to make them think. And at this point, they're fatigued and tired. And so you got to be able to think and move at the same time, just like you would on a football field. So we did that. That was a little bit of their like conditioning portion for the day.
Nice.
So that took about an hour, and then we got into our lift. Today was our lower body explosive day. So yesterday it was upper, today's lower. We had trap bar clean pulls, so our bilateral power focus movement, and we superset that with a box jump, and then we added in some mobility after that as our third station, so 90-90 shin box folds, loosening up the hips. So we did both of those. It's like a contrast because you're loading with the trap bar deadlift and then you are unweighted with the box jumps. And then after that, we went into a banded safety bar split squat, contrasted that with some reactive split squat box jumps. So you're up on top of the box, you drop down with 2 feet in the middle, and then you switch, get it back up. This is just working on like rate of force development and reactive quickness off the ground. As well as we use the Tendo unit and stuff to measure the speed of the bar on the split squats. And then we had like a single leg hip thrust hold. We were using the roller at first, but some of these guys' hammies were fried, so we went down to the ground and adjusted after that. If you've never done it with your heel on the roller, it really makes a difference and activates the hamstring quite a bit. And then we finished off with some accessories. We had some crossover step ups. I like to get them moving in different planes of motion and in different directions. So you're facing perpendicular to a box, you cross over the outside leg, step up, square your hips back up. So we did that. And then we paired that with, I'm trying to think right now what we did.
You did the sled drag?
That was,
sled
at the, end. Yeah. That was at the end. Reverse hypers. So low back, glute, hamstring exercise, high volume, and then calf raises. So it's crossover step up. Posterior chain, and then calves, and then we finished off with some ant tib. So manual ant tib is just like basically working the front of your shin, just helps prevent shin splints. It also dorsiflexion and all those type of things when running. And then we did like you said, a lateral sled drag. So it's crossover steps, again, moving in a different plane of motion, just kind of as our finisher, marching with the hundreds on the sled. So.
Yeah. No joke on that weight too. Those guys were pushing, bro.
Yeah.
And dude, I think what's so cool, and that's what is unique about our approach, is you still individualize. Like even though it's a group format, even though you got your guys together in one session, you're still individualizing for the person, like you talked about with Zach.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was cool to have those guys in there where, you've been training them for obviously years, but then within this year, training them for weeks, they're acclimated, they've been pushing. And then Maxon, who I was training this morning, it was his first time with us. He's still training over in Indiana. So his body's ready for it, but still had to tailor it a little bit more to him. So we did like a regressed change of direction kind of version of what you guys did. So I just think it'd be cool to talk through that, where we did kind of a similar thing to you guys, where dynamic warm up, moved into, and I like to add in, and that's where you might have saw that this morning. I basically just inserted some like tissue prep and mobility in between our dynamic warm up and our change of direction. So after the dynamic warm up, had him basically just do some hip flexion, so fast, and I did like slow to really get that muscle recruited, and then go like real fast twitch on the hip flexion, and then the hip cars to really open up the hips for the skater lunges, for the curtsy lunges on the landmine. So we moved into that for our strength work, did the curtsy lunges, skater lunge on the landmine, moving laterally, and then paired that, with the lateral skater hop to med ball slam, where we're going away from the wall, sticking on the outside, slamming, and then finishing with that adduction, soft tissue for the groin and the adductors, and then moved into upper body. So we did more of like a full body, then moved into an upper body piece, did the rotational jammer arm press. So we've got our jammer arms back there on the performance side, which is awesome, and then doing an explosive banded row with that. And then I also did that med ball press paired up with the single arm press. So it was like the single arm rotational jammer arm with the med ball slam, and then the explosive banded row. So yeah, you can kind of see like very similar, but we're still able to like really individualize it for the person and get them acclimated, get them into it, where we're not, obviously like beating him down first day. We're getting him acclimated, we're getting him used to the format. And he did really well. And I feel like tailoring it like that is just so important. And it's what we do with our adult training too. And I really like to take that well-rounded approach like we talked about, where we're integrating mobility, prep work in the beginning of the session, moving into something power, strength, hypertrophy based, where we're mixing explosive variations with strength, heavier variations with also more muscle focused variations, and then finishing with some aspect of conditioning with the adult training. So very similar to like what we were doing with the athletes, just with a few other components layered in as well. So dude, I wanted to ask you too, with kind of going back to the opening and us being in that first year of opening, something I didn't ask you that I wanted to ask you: what are you most grateful for from this first year?
Man, I would say probably just the support system and the community around us. My girlfriend, you guys, the trainers, the clients that we've had, the gym community that we've built has been so supportive of everything that we're doing. The pro guys, like just everybody that's been in here and been a part of the gym. And like the support has just been like overwhelming from everybody. So that's kind of what I would say I'm most grateful for.
No, it is cool to see, dude. And especially, some of the people that we have in these groups already, some of the athletes, like just good people. We got good people in here. Like some of the people in our adult training that we've met from a place down the road they came over from there, meeting a lot of awesome people like Moses and some of those people. So it's just been great, man. And I think as well, on top of some of these things that you've learned, throughout this first year, something else that I wanted to ask you is,
by the way, we are in the gym.
We are in the gym.
So if you hear the weights clanging in the background, it's because we're in the gym. So.
Yes. Hey, very organic, guys. You're in here with us, literally in Relentless Collective. But no, I wanted to ask you, man, because I feel like as you're doing some of these things, as you're, building processes out, as you're, hiring people, what culture are you really trying to build, here with the team?
I think it really goes back to like the name, like why we named it Relentless Collective. We want people in here that have a relentless mindset and have the will and the grit to push through. Like our tagline is whatever it takes, find a way. Like we want those type of people in here, but at the same time, it is a collective. It's a collection of people. It is a group. It is a community. We want people that want to contribute and be a part of something special. We do have people that just come in here, do their workout with their headphones on the whole time, and they leave, and we're appreciative of them too. But we really want people that want to come and be a part of and meet people and build something that is beyond just a facility and just a gym.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think that that's so valuable because you can meet some powerful people through that process too. You can meet you can have some life-changing relationships in a place like this.
Yeah.
And we've seen it, we've heard it. So, dude, I think it's just such an awesome opportunity. And I love what you said about Relentless, because I was literally just talking up front with those trainers. I think you probably even saw that. I was talking with a few of the, like one of the front desk guys that's working here, and then one of the new trainers and coaches, Brady. And we were all just kind of talking, and they were asking me for advice and tips. And I'm like, dude, you got to set the vision, and you just got to literally go. Like you got to know, this is kind of what I want it to look like eventually. This is what I want it to be like. This is kind of where I see myself, as a coach or in the fitness space or the training space. And then it's just whatever it takes.
I just feel like a lot of times
because you'll figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. And I just feel like a lot of times people give up way too quickly. I've learned with some of the trainers that we've had in here, some of the front desk people that we've had in here, even just like members or whatever, just interacting with more and more people every day, that just like it people just, some people have it and some people don't.
It's all mindset.
And it's all mindset. Yeah. It's just being able to push through adversity,
and sit with discomfort.
Yeah. And sit with discomfort, and realize that like not everything is going to be handed to you. I just feel like a lot of times in this age and generation, I know I sound like an old person by now, but
true though.
A lot of times in this age and everything is just instant gratification, and they need it right now. And it's like, if it doesn't happen right this second, then it's not worth it, and it's not worth putting in the effort, because I could just go get something else, that's easier or more attainable or whatever it is. And
nothing that you will be grateful for building was built that way.
Yeah.
Running at the first side of adversity. I mean, dude, I think about our journey as walk-ons at Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, I had to delay gratification for years, dude, before I ever stepped on that field. And like, you had to delay gratification.
I never played, but I still had to go.
Still,
and then it's built this eventually now, which was,
think about,
started when I was 18 until now. I wouldn't be where I am today as a 30-year-old man if I would have given up at Ohio State in the first sign of adversity.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. Or the first no on a facility, the first no on an investment opportunity, land, whatever it might be. So, dude, I mean, you embody that. I mean, you are literally that.
I appreciate that.
And I feel like we both share that, and that's where we can like have these certain conversations, and like we just understand one another, because like you said, it's literally a mindset, dude. And I've seen that coaching like high level dudes with my everyday athlete program. These dudes are elite dudes. Like they have that mindset where it's like, I'm gonna just figure it out. I'm gonna keep going. I'm going to keep showing up even when things aren't working out for me, even when I don't see a clear solution in sight, but I'm just gonna keep going. And if you have that mentality, bro, like we said, you're going to figure it out. No matter what you're doing, no matter if you're trying to walk on, no matter if you're trying to earn a scholarship, trying to get to the NFL, trying to start a business, trying to get, a new promotion or a job, like it all comes down to that at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's huge. And I think that's something that has been less and less common in people.
Yes.
And so
if getting less and less common.
Yes. Yeah. And so if we can do something about that and use this facility as an avenue to teach people that, and
catalyst,
to build that mindset in other people, like that's why we built this. And whether it's through, our adult training or through our youth training, kind of building that all the way up through our high school programs, or if it's just, meeting people in the gym, like there's a lot of people in here that do have that mindset. And the one thing that I've really appreciated is like, I'll see, some old heads or bodybuilders in here that are pushing, but then they'll take the time and there'll be a young kid that's a high schooler, and he's like struggling on some weight or like doesn't have the right form, and they'll like take the time, take their earpiece out and be like, hey man, like let me, and I like really appreciate that. And those are the people that we want in here to help instill that in that next generation of lifters and things like that. So
I love that, bro. Yeah. No, that is incredible. And I think that it stems so far beyond just training at that point. It's literally a mindset, bro. And like we learned it at Ohio State. We carried it into our professional careers. You learned it in the strength conditioning internship at Ohio State, or not learned it, but reinforced it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what's cool is like, that's really what this is about, is like, let's change lives. Let's change people's mindsets and what they think they're capable of. Because once you turn that corner, bro, you've seen it with your athletes. Like, you've seen it with everyday people. I've seen it with athletes and everyday people. It's like, once you kind of prove to yourself what you're capable of and you see that, it's like, dude, I can really do anything. You know what I mean?
Like there's sometimes I like to do stuff just because people said I couldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you get to that point and like you have that mindset and that confidence. It's like, and like you see it, like you said, with the NFL guys, especially, and some of our people that we train, it's like, you will not tell me that I can't do something.
Correct.
I will figure out a way to do it.
And that confidence is built through the process.
Correct. Yeah. It's not like you just are born that way.
No.
It's built through
doing shit that's really hard, or
Yeah.
that you don't want to do, that you want to give up on, or you want to turn back on, and you follow through, you do it, you learn the lesson, or you overcome it. Because it's never a loss, bro. It's either you won or you learned a lesson, and then you keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah. That's what I always think about, like, you know, how many times this wouldn't have happened if I took the word like no for an answer.
Dude, oh my
like,
God.
They like
Like
investors
you probably
said
have
no.
like 5 million no's for your 5,000 yeses.
Yeah, like you have, you know, I didn't even get approved from a bank until I think I probably went through 6 or 7 different banks over different year. I don't even know, since 2020.
Yeah.
So it just took one yes to make it happen. Same thing. Okay, I finally got a bank to say yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's keep moving forward. Yep. Okay, I still need some extra capital. Now I got to find, you know, I was like, I'm going to do this no matter what. We'll go like bare bones, you know, with just the bank money. But let me see if I can get some investors. Go back to the same investors that told me no before. Hey, I got a loan now. And they're like, oh, well, if a bank.
We literally talked about, so back in 2025, Jackson and I talked about Matt, our investor, mm-hmm. and how he originally backed out, but then came back around with you.
Yeah. So
relentless motherfucker.
And that's literally why he said that. He said yes. Like, I came back 5 years later and had a bank loan, and he was like, you're still doing this? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right, well, if you're like still trying this hard, then like I'll give you the money, because I'm excited to see what you do with it.
Yeah. Like I you showed me, like, I believe in you.
Yeah. So yeah, man, it's like, if it's truly what you want and you're passionate about it, you know, there's nothing that should be able to stop you from getting it done.
Yeah. And punch through those no's, bro.
Yeah.
Especially once you set that vision, like we said. So bro, I know I love this, and we're getting to the end here. And one thing that I did want to ask, and I didn't ask earlier, with the aspects of the gym, and we were talking about the sports performance, the adult training, you know, maybe talk about the gym as a whole. You know, what all are we offering right now? You know, what are we doing? Is there anything new coming about that you're working on? Any new announcements? Anything you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, so like he talked about, for our training and performance side, we have our adult group training. So that's run and facilitated by Zach. And then we have our youth, middle school, and high school programs. We have multiple sessions throughout the day, especially during the summer. Those are programs that are written by me and some of the other coaches and facilitated by all of us. And with that, we're doing a free week of any training. It could be the adult group training, or it could be sports performance training. You can find the link to that on our website.
I'm also going to have them in the show notes as well. I'll have all the links to sports performance training as well as adult training and our 24/7 gym memberships as well.
So as far as training goes, we have all of that. We do have yoga and Pilates classes as well. Those are also running a free week, so if you want to sign up for those. And we're really pushing right now our platinum membership, which includes all of that. And we really feel like this is the best bang for your buck value out there. You get access to the 24/7 gym. You get access to the training. You get access to our recovery room, which has cold plunges, saunas, red light therapy. You get unlimited yoga and Pilates classes. Like, it's really a one-stop shop for health and wellness. And then, like he said before, we do have our 1-year anniversary party coming up on July 11th. Big open house. We're going to have fitness competitions. We'll have some adult training classes. We'll have vendors here from 1 to 4. We got a DJ. We'll have bring the family. We have kids, bouncy houses, slides, games, face painting, cotton candy, like all the stuff for the kids. We'll have food trucks and food. So it'll be a good time. It'll be a good celebration. Bring the community together. Even if you're not a member, like, just come out, join us for a fun day at Relentless. And then I think that's really it, besides just we have the 24/7 memberships that we're always rolling out. We will, in the next week or so, be dropping a promotion for the 1 year. We'll do a 1-year anniversary sale on gym memberships, so stay tuned for that. Hasn't dropped yet. As far as things coming, we talked about the new equipment that is on the way. It will be here by the 1-year anniversary. We just dropped our pre-sale for our 1-year anniversary t-shirts. They're pretty sick. So
They're dope.
Yeah, check out.
I mean, these are sick too.
Yeah,
but these ones are
dope.
These ones are
so
sick.
Check out on our Instagram. If you're a member, you can buy it on the GlowFox app. If not, you can buy it at the front desk or you can send us a DM, and we'll get that set up for you. We'll get a live link once pre-sale's over. We're looking at potentially this. You guys will be the first to actually hear this. We are looking at putting in a cafe. So we're going to potentially blow out this wall in the lounge that we're sitting in right now. Put in a little more secluded, quiet co-working space and cafe area, smoothies, pre-workout, snacks and bites. Visionary Meals is going to have a grab-and-go cafe. We're going to bring in some local companies to supply protein bars and that type of stuff. So we're going to have that. That'll be a cool space that I think a lot of people will get use out of and enjoy, and just be another amenity for our members moving forward. Construction on that, I'm not sure when it's going to start yet. We have some things in the works, but that will be coming soon. Oh, Pro Shop up front, dropping into Pro Shop. You'll be able to buy Relentless merch. We'll have some supplements from some of your favorite brands, and then we'll do like some gym gear and stuff too. Wraps, wrist wraps, gym bags, that type of stuff, will be available all at the front desk. So we're going to be rolling that out here soon. So a lot of things coming here in the future.
Hell yeah, man. Well, cool, dude. This was great. Coming up on a year, full 365, man.
Yeah.
A lot of lessons.
Seems like it was.
I know,
sounds
dude.
cliche.
It's insane. Like,
everybody, it seems like it was just yesterday.
But it really
does seem like it was just yesterday that we were sitting here doing this over at the studio across the street.
Bro, that's why I looked at the date on it, and I'm like, April 2025. I'm like,
it's been more than a year, I guess. Yeah.
Bro, it does not feel, like we said, it feels like a couple months, man. But, dude, no, what we're building here, even though, 1 year in, literally just getting started, so much to come, more growth, more lessons, and dude, we're just going to keep chipping away and building and growing. So, dude, I'm excited. This was awesome. I'm sure we're going to do literally more in the future.
Yeah.
Years to come.
Yep.
So, yeah, man, this was great. Thanks for coming on, and glad we had you guys with us in the gym. This was a cool experience, doing the first ever Everyday Athlete podcast here officially in Relentless Collective. So we're really excited about this, guys. So appreciate you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Oh.